Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kryptonize. Joining me, someone I've known for a long time. I met at Tiger 21. He started a new, let's call it a social network for wealthy people, I guess. Charlie, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's called R360. Could you share the story behind R360 really quickly, Charlie, and tell me why you started it?
Sure. So when I was in business, I was in two peer-to-peer groups, YPO and Vistage, which were individuals that were entrepreneurs and they would share their experience, and it was really helpful to me. And when I sold my business and I had a liquidity event, someone told me about Tiger 21, where you could learn to be a better investor. Then I went to Harvard for a year and I took over this peer-to-peer group for social enterprise leaders. And we grew it to 34 countries, over 1,000 members. And the one thing I could never really figure out is how to help them raise money to scale their successful social enterprises. So I thought, what if we put together 1,000 families, 500 in the US and 500 globally, that shared the same values, especially generosity of spirit, and they wanted to use their wealth and the privilege of wealth to do great things and leave a legacy for the benefit of humanity, the health of our planet. And what if we could connect that group with these amazing social entrepreneurs? So I did a one-year fellowship at Harvard. Bill George was a mentor, and he is an expert in this area. So we launched R360. We decided to set a minimum of 100 million of wealth. Interestingly, we've been around for about 2.5 years. We already have 114 members. 13 don't have college degrees. 7 didn't graduate from high school. And yet they went on to create great wealth. And now they are super grateful and they want to use their families and their entrepreneurial mojo to solve some of the world's most intractable problems. So now imagine there's 6 people that want to get plastics out of the ocean, and they're all over. Now we have them working together and increasing their impact. So that was the idea. And how do you inspire your great, great, great grandchildren you're never going to meet to use the wealth and the blessings that you've created and lead a happy, purposeful life? And if they want to be entrepreneurs, great. But if they want to be a school teacher, that's good too. But then they also work together in the nonprofit space with the wealth that you've created. And we want to be a beacon and a role model for other families of wealth to do the same.
How is R360 different from like a Tiger 21 and other, wealthy social network?
Tiger 21, you have to have a minimum net worth of 10 million, maybe 20, they've upped it. So it's 100 in R360. Our average family has 400 million. And we only have 6 meetings, and we believe that wealth is more than money. The old proverb, give a person a fish, you feed them for the day, teach them to fish, you feed them for the lifetime. The fishes that we're trying to get our members to master is not only financial capital, which is Tiger 21, it's intellectual capital, human capital, it's social capital, emotional and spiritual. So, and the meeting will focus on that. And at the end of the meeting, based on what you've learned, you tell the group, look, before the next meeting on this subject in 12 months, these are the things I want to be held accountable for me, my spouse, and my children. And then if you need help with any of those things, we give you help. And then when you come a year later, it's like, hey, Mark, you said you were going to do these 7 things. Did you get them done? And, hopefully you've gotten 4 or 5 of them done. So we want to show kind of growth among these areas. And when you're running a family enterprise, which we define as over 100 million in wealth, if you're my employee and you don't do what I say and over, I'm going to replace you. But you really can't do that with your kids who are like, yeah, Dad, I heard that one. I heard that one too, Dad. So it's a different skill set that you need to be successful.
And where do you see the future of wealth management heading, and how is R360 positioning itself to lead in this area?
So what we're seeing is that in the 100 million and above sector, 90% are men whose average age is 77. So the next 10 to 15 years, you're going to have the largest transfer in human history of wealth from men to women and their heirs. And generally, they're not prepared because that age group of 77 men, they're like, hey, Martha never cared about managing money. I do that. And it's like, well, that's great, Bob. But when you get hit by the proverbial bus, she's going to wake up tomorrow and say, I have 300-400 million. What am I going to do? Women invest different, they think different, they do philanthropy different. My father died suddenly at the age of 61, and it was a huge mess. And that's one of the things that we're trying to prevent. We have a rising leader program. We work with them. There's things you can do with your kids from 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and so on, that we're teaching our members to do.
Okay, last question, Charlie, before we wrap things up. What advice would you give aspiring entrepreneurs that want to reach, 100 million in wealth? What are the lessons that you're seeing? I know about some of them don't have college degrees, even more seem not to have high school degrees. But is there any secret sauce or formula that you've seen amongst these members?
They always spend less than they make, so they're saving. We have a program where you can take any portion of your salary and put it into Bitcoin every 2 weeks. That's a great investment. But saving money and investing, getting into the market early, learning about compounding, and mentors. Have great mentors. There's so many books you can read now. There's so many podcasts where you can listen to Elon Musk's lessons. So my grandfather told me something I'll never forget in Panama, where I grew up. When you learn to shave, try to learn to shave on someone else's face first. And I've always had amazing mentors that have helped me be a good entrepreneur, a good investor. And I would recommend people to listen to podcasts, read books, and reach out to people, especially that are old. They love, in general, to mentor people.
Thanks, Charlie. We'll talk to you soon. Good to see you again.
You too. Bye-bye.
This episode sponsored by my company, Smart Blocks, where you can go and tokenize your real estate if you're a developer, or if you're watching from anywhere in the world, you can buy fractions in real estate for as little as $25 a token. Check it out, smartblocks.xyz.